Welcome to the Daily Shift, where every day between Monday and Friday around 12:15 p.m. CST, I take you for a few minutes to where you are to where you want to be. And I do this in a variety of ways. Currently on Mondays, what I am doing is that I started a series. And so it's like Manifestation Monday. And I'm going over how to manifest things easier. I started with the foundation a couple weeks ago. This past Monday, I talked about pillar number 1. And so if you're here, it's because you want to find out, how have I lost all these inches without working out and without changing my diet? And I did that on purpose. It was like a 30-day experiment. I didn't know how long I was going to do it, but I want to do a refreshing. And so I'm going to do a couple other things that I'll eventually start at least working out 20 minutes a day. I've been planning on it, but I haven't been doing it. Frankly, because I've been getting such great results in biohacking. So the way I've been doing biohacking, and the way I explain it, is that you're hacking your biology, and you're doing it through mind over matter, which is another way of saying alchemy for me. Those are my personal definitions. You can call it whatever you want to, but this is the way I'm calling it. So I'm using alchemy to transform one thing into another. And primarily the way I've been changing my bodies, and for those of you who are new, over the last 30 days, the first 2 weeks, I lost a lot of it. So I ended up losing, it was like 7 inches around my belly button, 4 inches around my hips. I forgot how many around my waist. But altogether, now, then I stalled a little bit. And so I want to talk about the stalling. Like in all weight loss things, right? Sometimes you have this radical removal of your abundance that you have, and then you kind of stall a little bit. And then I started to lose again. And so I ended up losing 11 inches around my belly button, and 4.5 around my hips, right? So, and then 3.5 around my waist. I was still having my popcorn, eating my ice cream, having my pizza. I was still having my social drinks. So I didn't change my lifestyle on purpose because I wanted to see how it would work. The reason is I wanted to try it again. I used to do different variations of this before, but about a little over a year ago, I had a seizure, and I'm going to, so almost my birthday. And so I was 48 at the time, and I had a seizure. And then after the seizure, I ended up gaining all the weight that I lost, and then some, because then perimenopause decided to kick in at the same time. It's like, oh, isn't that nice, biology? So no matter what I did, and I used to do like dirty keto and walking for an hour, nothing was working. And then because nothing was working, I was so used to having fast results in my body that I just really got frustrated. And I would try things, and I would lose a couple pounds, but then gain it back and go back to a set point. I ended up losing also over the last 30 days. It was 4 pounds, but I know it was fat. It must have been all fat because of the inch loss. So nothing was really working. And if it did work, it would be temporary. And it would quickly revert as soon as I stopped doing whatever I was doing, which is the case with anything you're doing in a diet or in an eating plan. As soon as you get off it, it's going to come back. And so I was like, okay, I need something to kind of put me back on track, right? Because we need that quick win. When we start having quick wins, even if it's small, it really encourages us, and it helps us then to build momentum. And so what I've been doing is what I call the biohacking. The biohacking primarily is around the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars, for those of you who are new to it, it is your subconscious, your conscious, your heart space, and your sense of self. I call it the I am center. So between those 4 pillars, those are the main things that will make anything manifest. Is when those things are in union, those are the things that are manifesting in your life. All of that, though, hinges on the 5th element. And the 5th element is your own words, because your words are your servants. And they are manifesting and bringing into reality and activating the reality that you are continually saying through the words of your mouth. This whole universe was created through words and is sustained by words. This is a word planet. So even if you've been saying, well, I don't believe words, you've been building a wall against yourself. Because then when you start to say things like the affirmations, like the EFTs, like the guided meditations, trying to, speak out certain things, well, now you've just confused your own aura, your own frequency block. Because you've been saying and meaning it, words don't mean anything. And then when you say it, you're not getting the same results. So that's the first thing. Audit the fifth element. How do you feel? Forget about what everybody else is doing. Who cares if somebody else isn't integritous with their words? How integritous are you with yours? So that's like the most important thing. If you don't remember anything else, is that what am I actually saying about the power of words? Because speaking is the technology. The thing is, you're already doing it by default, and you need to do it now by design. What are you saying about yourself, especially? So now we go backwards. You have the fifth element, and part of the other pillars, or you can call them elements, is your sense of self. You're never going to go any further than your sense of self or how you see yourself. And so with that, the other three pillars, your subconscious, your conscious, and your heart space, are impacted by your sense of self. So the main modality that I have been using to shift my sense of self and how I see myself is through EFTs. At least I've been doing, that's the main thing that I've been using, but I've been using other modalities as well. So in this biohacking, the reason I've been using EFTs and then providing it for you complimentary in this channel through the daily shift is because the EFTs are brilliant. When you do your own research, because do your own research, you will find what I found. And I've been doing EFTs on and off for a while, but then I got the idea like, okay, why don't I do this on purpose to biohack my body as the foundation for it? And what in the research, when I started to research this again, I found something very interesting. One is that doing EFTs, if you're new to it, it's called emotional freedom technique. You might see it as tapping. Think of it like acupuncture without the needles. You use your fingers on certain parts of your body to activate. And in an EFT, what you do is you confront something. That's the first step. If you don't confront it, whatever you don't confront isn't changed. And so for losing weight, you confront the negative emotions around that. I was a victim of toxic positivity. So you might been or might be too. So you're like, I don't want to see anything negative. It's temporary. You're only doing it through the EFTs because you need to be able to confront it. So whatever it is that you're feeling about your body, you're confronting it. And then you choose to overcome it. You choose to take your power back by saying that you love, accept, and forgive yourself. And then because you've created the void, you start to then do the affirmations of how you want to see yourself and you're choosing to see yourself. One of the beautiful things is that when I was doing my research, and you can do that as well, it says that an hour of tapping can reduce as much as 43% of cortisol. A lot of the women who are getting results in what I'm teaching, not only free here, but also in my group, the Society of Sacred Alchemists, the people who are getting the most results are those who are in the group. But other people are getting really great results as well, doing it for free, which is why I'm providing it for you, because I don't want money to be a barrier. If you want to go 10 times faster, if you want to be held accountable and have that support and create that consistency, that's what I have the group for. But you can create that yourself through using my free tools and resources here. So in this, we are consistently doing it. So the EFTs causes according to research, your cortisol level to go down 43% if you do it for about an hour. And what is that, right? I have only women in there. And most of the things that the women are coming to me for is because of stubborn belly fat, right? They want their belly shrunk. And so the cortisol, we know because it's a stress hormone, that's what actually causes a lot of that. So EFT helps with that. The EFT helps as well because your subconscious doesn't like hard. It doesn't like it when you try to force a new belief system, when you try to force a change. That's why, think of your brain like, let's say your set point, let's use degrees, is 70 degrees. And you're trying to get to 72. Now, on a good day, you can hustle, you can push. You can even do that for a season, but you're going to exhaust yourself and you can push yourself to the 72. But as soon as you take the pedal off, you will go back to your set point. On days where you're not highly energetic, you'll go down to like 68 degrees, and then you just go back to your set point of 70. Your subconscious does not like it when you try to force something. So the beauty of EFTs and other modalities like guided meditations and even hypnosis and doing other kinds of practices, even like scripting, is a really great way for you to gently start to reprogram your subconscious there. Also understanding the power of your own voice, how your subconscious doesn't have any defense for your own voice, which is why you repeat after me what I'm saying. And then we're adding our agreements together. So now we have this energetic agreement for the best for each other. So we're super empowering what we're doing. The EFT is the main thing because it's actually it's helping with all four pillars, all four elements at the same time. And then it activates the fifth pillar. So as you're doing it, your subconscious is being gently changed. Two ways to change a belief system is and your subconscious to reprogram yourself is a highly emotional state or repetition. And so if you're doing this gentle repetition, you're then activating your other element, your second pillar, which is your conscious state, because that's what you're doing right now. You are consciously connecting with me and you're paying attention. This is an attention economy. So this is how you're paying it. You're paying me by watching and you're paying yourself by paying attention. Those two things together now impact your heart space. Your heart space is the manufacturing center. It is where your limitations, the issues of life are, right? That's actually where it is. And that is impacted by, and all of them are impacted by the fourth one, which is the foundation, is your sense of self. The good book tells us that you will prosper and be in health as your soul, which is your mind, your will, and emotions prosper. What you hear about the subconscious is not incomplete, is incorrect. What you hear is not incorrect, is incomplete. Backwards. What you hear about the heart space is not incorrect, is incomplete. And so when your heart is going boom, boom, scientists have found out, they're like, oh, well, we know there's a signal that you're sending, but the secular scientists do not know what that signal is. But the good book tells us it is the belief system you have about yourself. This is why we love this stuff. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Yes, in his heart space, that's your manufacturing center. But what is impacting that? Your sense of self. It is a perfect equation. You will prosper. There's no exception there. You will prosper and be in health as your soul, which is your mind, your will, and emotions prosper. What you hear about the subconscious is that they're trying to get you to visualize and then get into your emotions, which is the last, even within the soul, there's three pillars. It's a trinity. They're trying to get you to the last part of the trinity, which is the emotions, but the gatekeeper is the mind, which is why we love to gravitate toward mindset work. If you feed your mind right, consistently every single day, every day, then if you feel like I've been procrastinating and I'm trying to do this workout or eat better, blah, 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 we're shooting all over ourselves. Then we end up having this negative cycle of negative self-talk to ourselves because we're trying to figure out why aren't we doing the thing we know we should be doing. We know it's good for us, but we're just like, I just don't want to. And it goes back to what you're feeding your mind. If you're feeding your mind consistently every single day, even for a little bit, even for a few minutes, it starts to reprogram you, align you into your own desire, to what you say you want. And then you start to activate the will. You're still in your soul realm. It's soul prosperity. And then you start to see the opportunities in front of you. All of a sudden, you start organically leaning into the right decisions for yourself. And then your emotions start to take over to give you that momentum. So that's why you've been trying to visualize by itself. You're like, why isn't this working for me? That could be it. The reason I was able to lose so much is because I had the foundation of the EFTs. The problem with my resources and the tools that I use is that it's very, very easy to do. And because it's very, very easy to do, we forget. Because we forget. And the other thing is that we figure that, that old lie, and we did an EFT for that too. The lie that no pain, no gain. Okay, I'm a Gen Xer. Finishing my 49th, trip around the sun. And that was something growing up, and it's still in the culture. No pain, no gain. And if you have that belief system is another reason why, if you're trying to do this, it's not working, because it's still in there. So that has to be extracted out. And if we're having a conversation, you can mentally ascend in the moment. But as soon as you're not in my presence, you'll go back to that. Again, think about the set point. You're always going to go back to your set point, your most predominant belief system. So if you have that belief system, no pain, no gain, that's another one that has to be rooted out, and then put another belief system in, and you can do it in a gentle way. This is why when I was talking to the ladies in the society, I was like, okay, what do we need? You need 3 things for anything in your life to be successful: accountability, consistency, and support. And so you can do that for yourself. Or then what I created were the Alchemy accountability bots. And what they do is they send you an EFT. And I call it the Ideal Body EFT. Every single day, they get the prompt. And then when they complete it for the day, they get certain points. And when they reach a certain amount of points, they get a gift from me. And it runs for 30 days. And then they can go ahead and keep doing it until they get to their ideal body weight. But it's a way for them to get consistency, to build it in and to make it easy, because we're all busy, right? We're busy. So I was like, okay, how can I help them get what they want? And so this is what you can do for yourself if you don't want to have an alchemy bot and come in, though you should, because we're an amazing group of women and we're getting shit done in true ease and flow, because we love our masculine energy to do stuff, but we like to also be in the feminine and flow. So we use both sides of our brains for ease and flow, in order for us to get what we want. So if that's of interest to you and you want to 10x what you're doing, then I invite you to come in. But if you do it for yourself, right, set the alarm. And then you have to hold yourself accountable to do it. The reason the bots work is because the accountability is there. And it gives you the buttons. It runs them through Messenger. And then you get free stuff from me because I love just like loving on people and supporting them and creating, really fun tools for them to use, right? Because it has to be fun. It has to be easy. You have to be able to slip it into your very busy schedule, and it has to work. And it does work when you're consistent. So if you're having issues around the biohacking, you've been trying it and it's not working, I'll just say these things really quickly again. There are 5 elements, or 4 main pillars, and the 5th element. The pillars are your subconscious, your conscious, your heart space, and your sense of self. Everything is running from your sense of self. So everything that you feed your eye gate and your ear gate, what you are contemplating on, what you're imagining, what you're allowing in your social feeds, what you're paying attention to, you're paying attention. You're actually buying into it. The longer you set it in front of your eyes or in front of your ears. What are you paying attention to? Will you audit your 5th elements? The words that you're speaking. How will you put yourself in an easy way to hold yourself easily accountable, to give yourself the consistency, which then brings you the momentum so that you can get what you want? What or who is your support system during this change in your life? There are a lot of things that go into it. So one of the reasons that I had stalled was because I wasn't really using my imagination much. And so it's harder for me. I'm a very lucid dreamer. And but during the day, sometimes not so much. So I started to really focus even harder on the words that I was saying, because I have it as a recording. And then I allowed myself to just dream into it. It's like, okay, what is this going to feel like? And being very playful around it. And then I was able to see myself. I started saying, I see myself measuring, and I was saying certain words. So I was giving myself clues. I see myself. I'm now measuring myself, and I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And as I did that, it started to shift, and I lost more inches around my belly button area, a little bit more on my waist, and a little bit more on my hips. Again, your imagination, your conscious state. We do this by default, and we need to do it by design, because you're never going to go any farther than how you see and what you see, and especially how you feel about yourself. And as you're doing the modalities of EFTs, and then you can add other things on top of it. And I added like guided meditations and some other things, but mostly the 80% of what I was doing was through the EFT. That's how I was biohacking. And my body is listening to me. But I was used to having my body listen until I had the seizure. And then I hit perimenopause. And it was just like, no, I need to do something. And that's what's been changing for the last 30 days. And so now I'm going to probably do a video or something for myself. And so I can see before, and then 30 days do it after, what my body looks like when I add. I'm going to try to add. Do it, do not, there's no try. I'm deciding right now that I'm going I will be taking better care of my body by choosing to move for at least 20 minutes a day. Yes. I'm committing that to myself. I have to probably create a bot for myself to do it and to keep it fun and light, or fun for me is a big factor. And I'm really good when I'm supporting other people, which is probably why I ended up losing as much as I did, because it was a fun project for me to do for 30 days. But that's how I lost weight. I'm not the only one. My EA Angela, she's very quite fit, but she had, she couldn't get down. Sometimes when you have a goal that you can't get down for the last couple of inches, and in these 30 days, she lost 3 inches. She lost 3 inches around her belly button area, and she's just like ecstatic. And she already had a gorgeous, perfect body to me, right? But to her, that was like a stubborn thing. Katie took pictures and she posted them in the group, in the Wired for Success women's group on Facebook. That's free. Go ahead and join us if you're not already part of that group. And Anna's been having really great success too. She was already starting to do some things anyway with dancing, and has had incredible results. But she's been using EFTs for other parts in her life, and they're working really fast, really, really fast. So these are all things that happen when you are consistent, when you're having accountability, and when you have the support, especially the support. And something else I'm doing to support you that is 100% free. However, I'm not going to have that many seats available for free. So if you want, there is a link down below in the description. I'm having an event on 10/10 in order for you to unlock your divine abundance. And so if that is of interest to you, then join me on the masterclass and find out what all the fuss is about. Why they call me. That's what I had in the front. Like, right, what do people call me? They call me the biohacking queen. These are things other people say about me. I am the biohacking queen. They've called me the manifestation sensei. And one of the things that I love that people say is that yesterday I was doing the thing about human design and embodying that, and I was speaking to projectors. And I had a projector friend of mine. She said, you just really see me. I feel so seen. It's like, you know me, you see me. I actually posted that little snippet on Facebook. Working with me, I can guarantee you that I see you. and that I am one of your champions. I am so excited for your life because I know that you were made on purpose for a purpose. And my purpose is to empower you. My purpose is to give you some practical wisdom that you can implement and get results faster. That is my sweet spot. I am a task animal. And I always get what I want. Always. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And I use everything that I've learned, packaging in a way that it's easy for you to implement, because if it's not easy, you're not going to stick to it. There's a lot of information out there. The problem is implementation. It's not the information you're getting, it's the implementation. Not knowing how to implement it, not knowing the steps, the right steps for you, not knowing where to move or how to shake it up, not having the right support system. And even if this is as far as we go and you don't want to join the group, that's fine. But allow me to support you in this way. Come and hang out with us. The free seats are about a third of the way filled already. And I started it early because I'm starting to give like other stuff to empower you. Come and get the support, the insights, the magic even that you want in order for you to get unlock your own divine abundance, because you're already wired for success, but you have been programmed or conditioned for failure. So through these practices, we're going to reverse that to bring you back to your energetic, perfect self, because you are beautifully and wonderfully made. All right, my loves, I know that this has been helpful. And until next time, which will be very, very soon, I'll see you on Monday. We're catching this live again. Have a great rest of your weekend. May God's riches and best be yours. I love you. Bye now.